Sometimes you just need a vacation. And other times, when the clock strikes too much, you need to get away on an indefinite hiatus. Kinda like Blink-182 did in 2005. Oh, hey Tom. What you been up to?
This street we're on right now, I would run across it naked with my friends.
Really? So when the feeling's right, you just need to take an extended vacation. You know, like one of those 6 or 7 month find yourself vacations that usually end in binge eating churros and getting into psychedelic wave music? Right, Tom?
I got stuck on that roof one time.
Perfect. So, picture this. You're out the door, suitcase in hand, saying goodbye to your family for what might be the last time. And in the back of your mind, there's the subtle fear that there's something really important you're forgetting. No, it's not Kevin McAllister. But if Japan's your destination, let me help you out. This is my 5 things you can't find easily in Japan list. Now, it's not in order of importance because this isn't a top 5 list, it's just a 5 things list, so keep that in mind. Not everything's a competition. Right, Tom?
You shot my friend with a paintball gun right here. He did an endo on his bike.
This is no help anymore. Now, before I start, I want to stress that I am not an authority on this stuff, and I rarely ever do any research. So, with that said, please enjoy. Japanese people don't sweat. Well, not like Americans sweat. I mean, you'll see the occasional blot on the forehead with a cotton handkerchief thing. But in Japan, 20% more sodium chloride antiperspirant with 10 times the amount of microbials isn't really that necessary. So I'd recommend bringing a few sticks from home if you're planning on staying maybe a year or so. I personally have about 5 or 6 deodorant sticks in this apartment right now, largely unopened. Kind of feel like Scarface. Say hello to my little friend. That was deodorant, by the way. This is deodorant. It's my favorite. Old Spice, Swagger. Cause you know, when you're talking to the ladies, you just need that swagger. Know what I mean? Although they do sell aluminum in Japan. Deodorant has aluminum in it, right? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay. Now, this one is more for those of you that have a sweet tooth. Those of you that just can't go a day without eating 6 sleeves of Oreos. They don't really do a lot of sugar in Japan. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have sugar in Japan. But, like, you can't find extra large candy bars. You can't find a dozen donuts in a box. I actually, when I first got to Japan, one of the first things I noticed were the individually wrapped donuts. They have individually wrapped donuts. I actually have a picture of the first one I ever bought. That was taken my first morning waking up in Japan. And they do not even have the amount of sugar that a regular like donut in America would have. I think if somebody in Japan ate a Krispy Kreme donut, they would probably implode. And actually another really like interesting thing to bring up is that Reese's peanut butter cups, or anything Reese's for that matter, doesn't really exist in Japan. Actually, they don't. I think in 2012 they might have tried like a 1-year like test run to like sell Reese's peanut butter cups in Japan, but it either failed, not a lot of people bought them. But I think in Tokyo, in some like really small like artifact stores in Tokyo, you can still find Reese's peanut butter cups, but they're very, very rare. They're not very easily accessible. Now, chip flavors in Japan are insanely, ridiculously, inhumanely, well, maybe not that bad, strange. I could actually do a series of videos on chip flavors in Japan alone. Like, they have some pretty weird ones. But the occurrence, or as I like to say, arimasu, because, you know, arimasu, it means to exist for inanimate objects, and occur, and I'll explain to you later, it's not really that important right now. But the occurrence of flavor-free chips, or rather chips that need dip in Japan, isn't very common. So the dips themselves aren't very common. A lot of the chips actually have the dip flavor already in the flavor of the chip to begin with. Like these lovely examples. Also, peanut butter is really hard to find too. I mean, you can find it, it just looks different, and the consistency is more liquidy and it doesn't really taste as good. But I mean, it's still peanut butter. It's just not. And finding cheese dips, like salsa con queso or anything else that has to do with cheese, isn't really worth finding or trying, because they just kind of taste like sandpaper. And I don't mean like sandpaper, I mean like paper that's been left in the sand for too long. I have dandruff. This isn't part of the video, I'm just tired of hiding it. I'm coming out of the dandruff closet. I'm loud and proud about my dandruff. Trust me, I'm segueing into something important. You just have to wait for it. I can't find Head & Shoulders shampoo anywhere. Also, I can't find my favorite Old Spice body wash either. In fact, it's really hard to find all the name brand things I used to use back in America in Japan. I mean, maybe if you lived in Tokyo, you'd be able to find this stuff. I mean, they have everything in Tokyo. But actually, if you really do have dandruff, this is a pretty good shampoo to use. It is, Lion. I guess, I don't really know what the brand is. It just says Lion at the bottom. But yeah, this is shampoo. You can tell, because if you can read katakana, it says shampoo. It's like Okuto. Okuto is the name is the brand. It's Okuto something shampoo, and this is Lion at the bottom. There's a green bottle. This is shampoo, and I think there's a pink bottle, and that one's conditioner. But yeah, this is dandruff protection. This is good for dandruff. I actually did research this. This I'm not just making up. Medicine. It's extremely hard to find medicine in Japan unless you go to like a Costco or something that has instructions in English on the back. So things like dosage amounts and frequency of use may not be readily understood if you're going to a drugstore in Japan for the first time and you're trying to buy medicine. Also, things like aspirin and Tylenol aren't really here. I think actually acetaminophen aren't legal or something. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But I do know for a fact that codeine is not legal in Japan. Codeine is illegal, so you can't find NyQuil here. Alright, some important information for you. Actually, this is cough medicine in Japan. This is a kind of cough medicine. As you can see, everything on the back is written in kanji. But if you're looking for cough medicine, just look for these two little letters right here. Se-ki. Se-ki. Seki. Seki means cough. So whatever is in this box, this is seki on it, is usually probably going to be cough medicine. Or it's cocaine. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. Japan is a very health-conscious country. And on that note, if you're chestically gifted like I am, finding shirts your size in Japan might be kind of hard. The large in Japan is basically like the medium in America. And like the extra large would be like the large in America, and so on and so forth. But they don't really have large and extra large here. But what they do have is large and something that's known as LL. And then I think there's an LLL. And I think they just keep on adding L's. I'm not really sure though. I want to really stress that if you come here for work, finding suit coats and dress shirts in your size are going to be even more difficult than finding t-shirts in your size. And shoes. I wear a size 11, 10 and a half, 11 in America. That's like the largest size of dress shoe they have in the store I buy shoes at in Japan. Like, that is the large, which is like a size 28 in Japan. 28 men. 28 men. 28 men. 28 men. 28 men. But yeah, sizes, clothing sizes in Japan are going to be different. Because a lot of people in Japan are smaller than people in America, because as we all know, in America, we live in the land of obesity. So if you are coming here for work, just make sure that you pack plenty of dress shirts and plenty of suit coats. Now ties, on the other hand, they got plenty of ties. They got ties everywhere around here. They have too many ties. This is Thailand. Thailand. I just made that up. So that's it for this video. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. And for sticking around, here's a game of Jonkin. Rock, scissors, paper. 1, 2, 3. If you won, congratulations. If you lost, that's going to be 9 Hail Marys and an Our Father. That's penance for losing at Jonkin, and also for admitting to it. Because you didn't have to. You could have just kept your mouth shut. Right, Tom?
We ride through Kmart on our skateboards and knock everything off the aisles.
Alright.